Hola y buenas tardes, WLI students. My name is Dr. Steve Prismas. I'm a professor of bilingual education, multicultural education here at Texas Christian University, and I'm really excited to be providing this presentation for your Fall 2020 Career Day, and my presentation is on the profession of teaching. This fall marks the 25th year that I've been a teacher, and I can't imagine having done anything else. It's been an incredibly rewarding career. It's been a great way to provide for my family. We are essential workers. I always have a job, and I've loved the opportunity to be a part of the education of students of all ages. I have taught middle school, high school. I currently prepare teachers to teach in elementary schools, all the way through to people who are getting their PhDs. In a moment, I am going to bring you into the College of Education here at Texas Christian University, where we prepare future teachers so that you can get an idea of what it looks like, what it's like to sit in a classroom, and I'm going to interview any faculty members I can find that are still around at 4:30 on a Wednesday afternoon to ask them what being a teacher means to them. So let me mask up as I have to here at TCU when I go inside, and we'll get started with our tour. First of all, we're currently standing in our outdoor classroom, which we call Frog Henge, and these rocks were actually brought over to the United States from Scotland and put in a circle, and we call it, instead of Stonehenge, we call it Froghenge because everything's purple and frogs here. And frequently when the weather is nice, I take my students outside and we have class in the middle of Froghenge. Usually every day when you walk out, you can see people studying out here, doing yoga, meditating, just talking, having lunch, or however. So this building is half of the College of Education, where if you were to become a teacher, you would study in. And here is the other half. If you notice the difference, this half, called the Bailey Building, was built in 1914, and it's one of the oldest buildings on the TCU campus. It's 106 years old. This one was built just 14 years ago because we outgrew the Bailey Building, and this is called the Palco Building, and that's where my office is and where a lot of classrooms are, and we're going to go into one of the classrooms in there. So let's see if I can not drop my laptop here and give you a tour of the College of Education. Okay, so here in the College of Education, we prepare teachers to teach all sorts of age levels, all kinds of content, really anything you might be interested in. We prepare, one of our largest programs is to prepare teachers to be teachers in elementary classrooms, where you would teach all contents: math, science, language arts, history, social studies. But then we also prepare those teachers to be certified in special education and TESOL, or how to teach culturally and linguistically diverse learners, what we used to call ESL. We also have a bilingual education track, which is really great. If you graduate from TCU with a certification in bilingual education, you can get a job just about anywhere. And I know all of you are bilingual, como yo, soy bilingüe también. So beyond elementary school, if you want to teach older kids, we prepare teachers to teach middle school students, high school students, and then you you focus on a content. So let's say you really like art, you would go to TCU and take classes in the Fine Arts building about art methods and different styles of art and fine arts, theater, photography, visual art, all sort of things. But then you would come to the College of Education and you would take classes with us on how to teach students art, how to prepare lessons, how to deliver lessons, how to assess students, how to interact with students, how to interact with families, all sorts of things. And then we prepare counselors as well. And if you want to be a principal or assistant principal, our higher education program, our education leadership is a really great program as well. Okay, so we are now on the second floor where a lot of classrooms are. If you look down this hallway, we have a bunch of classrooms, and I actually am going to teach a class tonight. So we're going to go down to my classroom. There aren't any students in my classroom. Everyone is taking the course this fall 2020 online. But I can have access to the classroom to use the TC Wi-Fi, the whiteboard, all of the different bells and whistles that come with being in a TCU classroom. So here's my classroom for this class. And just so that we have a little interactive activity, I'm going to set my laptop down and I'm going to write a question on the board, and over the next 10 minutes or so you can try to see if you can come up with the answer. So I'll bring the laptop a little closer so you can see the question. It's pretty straightforward. The question says, ¿Cuál animal anda con una pata? So I will ask you to see if you can come up with the answer to that riddle in about 10 minutes when this tour is over. So I gotta check my phone because someone texted me, a professor wants to be interviewed. Let's head on up and see if we can talk to Dr. Carabby Moline about what teaching means to her. And a really great thing about Dr. Moline is she was a bilingual teacher in Texas for quite a while before she started at TCU, and she works with all the student teachers at TCU. So the semester in your senior year, when you go out and you spend a semester student teaching, she's the one that works with schools, finds those placements, and is really an important part of our College of Education. And her office is on the 3rd floor, like mine is. Trying to hold my computer steady so you don't get too seasick watching this video. Okay, so if we look down the hallway here, these are all professor offices. And then down this hallway over here are more professor offices. Mine is about halfway down. You see the door is open, so the light is coming in through the window. I'll take you down there at the end of the tour. We'll see if Dr. Moline has a chance to talk to us. She's busy, so I'm going to come back in about 2 minutes. So, you can see all the names of the professors on the... Oh, I think my video stopped. Oh, there it is. Still going. You can see all the names of the professors on their offices. And here is mine. And aunque hablo español, no enseño español, that is another college, the College of Modern Languages at TCU. But I use a lot of Spanish when I teach my students how to teach students who speak Spanish at home or speak other languages at home. También hablo Somali, Sidehai Manta, Wanfianahe Manta, Suda Wanaksan. I speak a little Turkish, and all of those things kind of help when we are going into schools to work with students who speak lots of different languages. So this is my office here. I have a great view out the window, mostly of McDonald's, but also the new administration building, which is kind of nice to look at. And haven't spent a lot of time here this semester, as I've been teaching from home mostly because my students, my own daughters, are studying from home. So I'm home with them during the day. And when I teach a night class like I do tonight, then I go to campus to teach. So let's see if we can talk to Miss Moline, Dr. Moline, one more time. She's still busy. I'm going to come back to her. I do know someone who is waiting to talk to us, and that's the Dean of the College of Education, Dr. Frank Hernandez. And I'm really excited to have Dr. Hernandez talk to us because he is starting a new program at the TCU College of Education this year called the Maestro Program. And the Maestro Program is to recruit, support, and place more Latinx people, Latinos and Latinas, as teachers in local schools in Fort Worth and in Texas. And hopefully he can talk to us a little bit more about that. So let's see here if Dr. Hernandez, Dean Hernandez, is ready. Oh, now Dr. Moline is ready to talk. Let me see how much time Dr. Hernandez has. Hola, buenas tardes.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Come in.
Do you have 5 minutes?
I do, but I don't actually have a script or anything, but I'll try to wing it. So, do you want me to go somewhere?
No, we're live, and yeah, I know. I've been live for like 15 minutes now, and they're
God,
all going to
that's
be
good.
laughing because this is
Yes.
winging it. I'm actually going to come back to you because Dr. Moline was on a phone call, and I'm just going to talk to her for 1 minute and then come right back to you. All right.
Sounds good.
Can you believe I just told my boss to wait? He'll laugh about that, I think. Right. Okay, Dr. Moline, do you mind having a seat over here?
I don't mind having a seat.
I prepared the WLI students already that you were a bilingual educator.
I
in
still
Texas,
am.
And you still are.
Yes.
And if you can just maybe in a minute
we're not frozen. Okay.
or so, talk to
Sure.
us about what teaching has meant to you in the teaching profession.
So you're just recording or
I
they
am.
live?
Oh, well, we're not live.
Oh, it's
live, yeah.
asynchronous?
Yes.
Okay. Buenas tardes or buenos dias. I'm Carrie B. Moline. I work here in the College of Education. I was a bilingual teacher in Irving ISD for 4 years. I was a bilingual teacher in Arlington ISD for 2 years. And then I was also a bilingual teacher in Grapevine Colleyville for almost 10 years before coming to TCU. And I also worked at UT Arlington for 5. So you're probably adding up all those years now. You're like, wow, how old is this lady? But yes, I went into bilingual education. I was in Tennessee, and I had a love for Spanish because I was born in Puerto Rico, and my dad was military, so we moved around a lot, and I was exposed to, of course, many cultures. We lived in Spain, Puerto Rico, and then in high school I took Spanish. And then in college I took Spanish, but I had never heard of bilingual education until I came to Texas. And so when I came to Texas, I worked for an amazing principal. She hired me on a probationary certificate in a 5th grade bilingual classroom in Irving. And I was able to go to Texas Wesleyan to work on my master's degree in bilingual education. And I went to live in, I was in Honduras for almost 6 weeks teaching English as I worked on my master's thesis. So yes, bilingual education and also teaching TESOL, which is now TESOL, not ESL, but the ELLs, I love it. And I also love having students come to TCU and want to be teachers to work with those second or third or fourth, those multi-language learners. So is that about it?
Yes, in one sentence.
Yes.
Why teaching?
Why teaching? Because you can help someone else learn, but also you can keep learning. You keep learning for yourself. So
awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome so much.
All right.
Oh, good luck.
Yay. Okay. That was Dr. Moline, and now we're going to go back to the Dean of the College of Education, Dr. Frank Hernandez. Dean Hernandez?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us. We're not actually live. I'm recording. Okay, just.
So should I put my mask on, or am I good?
You know,
with this?
I'll just step it back.
Okay.
You know, I'll put the computer down, and I've been just interviewing people about what it means to be a teacher, and these are students at the World Languages Institute, and this is their 2020 Career Day, and this is a presentation on the teaching profession. I've walked around the building, I've told them about all of our programs, I've told them a little bit about why I want to be a teacher, and so teed it up for you, and maybe to talk about the Maestro program as well.
Okay. Well, hi everyone. I wish we could do this in person, but I know we have to record it in Zoom. But for me, I started my career out as a third grade teacher, and I loved it, and it was incredible. And that was a very long time ago. And some of my own students that I had then are now friends on Facebook, and I get to follow their lives and see all the wonderful things that they've done. And they often comment about the impact that I had on them on teaching. For me, teaching means that you're a community leader. And not only are you a community leader, but you're actually now training and developing the future community leaders in your class. It also means that as a teacher, you're having an incredible impact on the students in your class. And I'll tell you why I know that is because even today, as an older professor and the dean of the college, I still think back at Mrs. Lucky, my second grade teacher, who helped me to get really fast in my math facts. I think about Mrs. King, my sixth grade teacher, who helped me to really do cursive and write my name in cursive in the most beautiful way that I could. And I can't forget the amount of time that she took to help me do that. And then my seventh grade teacher, Mr. Valerio, who just inspired me and challenged me to do great and amazing things. And then I remember Mrs. Roberts, my high school drama teacher, who said I could do anything in the world that I wanted to do because she said I was smart and that I could get along with everyone. And so I still think about those teachers. And that's what teacher means to me, being a teacher. It means that you inspire other people. And here in the College of Ed, we're wanting to inspire people just like you to think about teaching as a career. And we have all kinds of students that come to our college who want to be teachers. But one of the things that we want to focus on is we want to increase the number of Latinx men who are going into teaching, because I know that they can have a huge impact in classrooms, with students, with other teachers, and they could be amazing role models. Everyone is welcome, but we want to be more deliberate and intentional about trying to diversify the teaching force. So we're starting a program called Maestro, and you're going to learn more about it as the year goes by. But if you know of Latinx men who you think would be great teachers in your life, or friends that you know, or other high school classmates, we'd love for you to have them reach out to us so they can learn more about this program, because we think that they could also inspire teachers and students just like my teachers have inspired me, and just like I hope I have inspired my own students as a teacher. So I wish we could be there with all of you, but we can't, but someday we'll be together very soon.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
That was perfect.
Right.
All right. Thank you, Dean Hernandez.
Bye-bye. Take care.
Okay, we are about finishing our tour, and I'm wondering if you have the riddle figured out. So let's go back down to the classroom. So I have to get ready to teach. It's about 4:40, and I teach at 5 o'clock. And so I'll have to get down and get my Zoom going. But let's go down to that classroom. and see if you have the riddle figured out. And I will just say this as I'm finishing up. If anyone has questions about being a teacher, about the different possibilities of being a teacher, all the questions you have. There's never a bad question. How long does it take? What can you do? How much do you get paid? How are the benefits? What's the schedule like? Any question you have, you can ask your teachers to send me an email, and I can, if I get a whole bunch of emails, I'll, do the best I can to respond to them and send you the answers back. I too have been, like I said, a teacher for 25 years. Most of them have been in the United States, but some of them have been in other countries as well. I was a teacher for 2 years in La República Dominicana, and now that I'm in a classroom, I can take my mask off. I'm all by myself. In the Dominican Republic, I was a teacher. I worked with elementary school kids, middle school kids, and high schoolers, and with teachers. I have been a teacher in Mexico. I taught at La Universidad Autónoma de Chiapas in Tuxtla Gutiérrez, and I prepared future teachers in Chiapas, and I have taught in Guanajuato, Mexico, and I've interacted with teachers in Mazatlan. So in different parts of Mexico, in Oaxaca, in the south of Oaxaca, with Zapotec indigenous teachers. So that's part of my job now, is taking my years of experience working in the classroom to prepare people perhaps like you who want to be teachers in the future. So before we get to the riddle, I just kind of want to share why I became a teacher. I've talked a little bit about how it's been a really stable job for me. It's allowed me to provide for my family no matter where we've lived, which is a really important thing for me. But most importantly, I learned when I was probably about your age, the latter years of high school, and I would say maybe even my first year or two of college, I figured out that I like to tell stories and I like to help people figure things out. And I figured that if you put those two together, you're a really good teacher. Much of teaching is telling people, helping people figure out how to do things through stories. And there's no limits. One of the current research investigations that I do right now is how to use multimodal online role-playing games like World of Warcraft and Dark Souls as teaching tools. How to teach languages, how to teach history with Assassin's Creed, lots of different games in order for students to understand content through something they like to do. So here's my story. My story is, and this is a true story, the person in it was not me, but someone probably similar to me, a white man who speaks Spanish, was doing research in southern Arizona and was interviewing a family about Spanish and English use in their home. And the man, the researcher, said something that I would never say to someone because our language practices in our homes are all unique and all important. But he said something like, "Why doesn't the boy speak more Spanish?" And the grandfather, who speaks mostly Spanish, leaned over to the white man researcher and said, "I have a riddle for you. ¿Cuál animal anda con una pata?" The riddle that we have here. So the man sat back and he thought, and he translated, which animal walks with one foot? And he kept thinking, well, I know that, certain birds sleep on one foot, but he can't think of anyone. But immediately the young boy jumped up, ran over to his grandfather, and whispered in his ear the correct answer, un pato. And those of you that know this riddle understand that there are a lot of meanings of anda. It can mean to walk, but it can also mean to hang out with, to go out with. And when you get there and you say which animal goes out with or hangs out with, now you're not thinking about walking, and you read pata as girl duck So the boy has this answer of a boy duck, pato. It made the grandfather really happy, and he proved a point. And he proved that education is not only what people see on the surface. All of us have unique, what we call funds of knowledge, knowledge about language, knowledge about culture, knowledge about the world. A good teacher brings out that knowledge, values that knowledge in all the students in the classroom, and makes all of the students feel good about themselves, makes them feel like experts of something or another, so that they're able to teach others and learn from others in the classroom. I hope all of you consider becoming a teacher, becoming a storyteller, and becoming a difference maker in the future of our country. Thank you for paying attention to this presentation on the profession of teaching, and I wish you a wonderful year at the World Languages Institute. Bye.